And I said, let there be light. And there was light. So, yeah, I know I made a promise to myself way back in January of 2018 when I started making videos that I really wasn't going to have anything that promoted Jesus imagery or any sort of religious thing. In fact, that's why at my cousin's baptisms, Oliver, Hudson, and Eli, respectively, I didn't film anything because, again, it's inside of a church. Jesus imagery, I don't do that. And yeah, I know let there be light is technically a Bible saying, but come on, that's a saying that everyone has said. In fact, it was the title of a Rugrats episode. Yeah, remember it was that one episode where the power was out, and so Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil are, they're trying to get down in the kitchen and try and open the refrigerator door because that's where the quote unquote light is hiding. Which, I mean, let's be honest, everyone at some point in their lives has wondered what happens when you close the refrigerator door if the light is still there. I mean, I know I've wondered it, and I mean, at this point, it's, pretty obvious. There's the door hits like a little button or a switch when you close it that turns off the light so it doesn't waste, electricity. Although, looking back on it, sometimes I wondered, it's so weird. I was wondering, why there's even a light in there in the first place. I'm like, oh, so you can actually see what you're looking for in the refrigerator. So, it all works out, yes. That's cool. Personally, though, if I'm going to, look for light anywhere, I'm probably just going to go to my camera phone because, seriously, I know that, older generations are making fun of millennials and people of my generation. I do not consider myself a millennial, by the way. That, oh, we're on our phones all the time. We take it for granted. Oh, we do that. But for someone who really doesn't abuse the phone for that regard, I will admit, of the things on the smartphone that are in no way a bad idea, having a flashlight is one of them. Not a bad idea. I mean, seriously, I can't tell you how many times I've dropped something or lost something that felt like a dark sort of hole or crevice or whatever, and then I use my camera phone to find oh, there it is. So, yeah. Wow, it's funny how Rugrats would get me to talk about, smartphones. Truly, we're living in the future. Well, looking back, and if you have a YouTube app on your smartphone, you probably could look up Rugrats episodes. Maybe. I'm sure there's probably something Rugrats related on YouTube. I mean, YouTube, practically everything's on YouTube. It's the American way. So, happy Hump Day, everybody. Yes, it is Hump Day. We're halfway through the week, and it's been surprisingly pretty warm for early September. Not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, it's never as cold as I think it's going to be, but, as every day goes by, it's going to start getting colder and colder and colder, and, pretty soon we're going to start bundling up in our autumn blankets, wearing, sweaters. For some people, sweaters that you can basically cover over your legs. Actually, I had a friend on Facebook once who said that she likes wearing a, one of those, gigantic, triple XL sweaters that she can just put her head in and curl up underneath the sweater so it looks like it's her and sweater all together, I guess. And then I commented, it's like being inside a mommy kangaroo. Which, I don't have a sweatshirt that size, but I do have a stretchy shirt that size, and I'm not gonna lie, it really does feel like being inside a mommy kangaroo. I miss my mommy kangaroo. And I just realized, I just realized I just quoted, That 70s Show. That 70s Show was a good show. I like That 70s Show. That was pretty sweet. So, yeah. It's funny. There were days where we were complaining about how hot it was, but let's be real here. As much as we complain about how hot it is, it's worse when it's cold. It is. I mean, this is actually a story that, this is actually something that did happen literally the night before I started making videos. And, it was December 31st, 2017, so New Year's Eve. I was visiting my folks, and, they decided that they actually wanted to go to Libs. And I told you guys the story. I went to Libs literally the night before I started making videos. So we're talking about Libs or Moretti's for that matter. It really was always serendipitous. But again, that's neither here nor there. So it was actually so cold throughout like the evening, and my mom was saying how cold she was so much, it got to the point where even though I didn't feel cold, I was cold. Like subliminal messaging. Like, it was just awful. It actually was pretty bad. I think it was like 3 degrees outside or something like that. Oh, it was awful. If you had like a drink in your car, it was going to get frozen within a couple hours. It was pretty serious. You couldn't even go like outside without like, I couldn't go outside at all without my hands hurting. Seriously, I tried working out like on New Year's Day, and it was so cold, my hands were just like in searing pain. And I was wearing gloves. Like, I mean, not like gigantic, giant, thick gloves, because, I mean, I use an iPod, so, I need to be able to use a touchscreen or whatever. Although, if you are going to use an iPod in this weather, not this weather right now, but like in the winter, be sure the battery is like 100% full, and try and like wrap it around like a towel to keep it warm. Because I tell you, for whatever reason, iPods just do not last in the cold. Like, I don't know if it's because the metal is a firm conductor of like heat, or in this case, cold. But yeah, it really like shortens the battery. And the weird part is, like, there'd be times like during the winter when I run, and like, even though I know for a fact, like, I have plenty of battery on my iPod, I'm ready to go, let's do this. Like, halfway through the thing, my iPod shuts off. I mean, I'm able to turn it on and it still works fine, but it scares me when it turns off because, like, oh no, without my music, I'm not going to be able to run. Well, I can run, just not as effectively. That's why I listen to music when I work out, It gets me in the groove, gets me going, gets me like, yeah, let's do this. I guess lately I have been listening to a couple new Dragon Force songs. I mean, again, the new album is coming out very soon. Cannot wait to hear it. Listen to a little bit of Mineo. You Can't Stop Me. That's a good one. Although, admittedly, I only heard that song because when they did Aaron Donald as number 1 on the NFL Top 100, they were playing that song. I thought it was catchy, so I started listening to it more. And I like it. But I'm always in the mood for listening to some of the classics that I liked. AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, those guys, and a few. I mean, you gotta have some hip hop and rap. You just got to. I mean, I mention this a lot, but I feel that Eminem is my all-time favorite hip hop artist or rapper, and it's not going to change. His real name may be Marshall Mathers, but I do believe there should be a third M in front of that, and that M should stand for Master Marshall Mathers. Yes, I do. I mean, hey, it follows my love of alliteration, and it actually works. And he is a veritable master of his craft. But there are still others. I listen to Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is cool. I know listening to Kanye might be a little bit taboo considering what he's done and been through over the years, but I tell you what, when I was a teenager, Kanye was all over the place in terms of how good his music was. It was pretty sweet. I mean, there's a few names of songs I probably shouldn't say on camera that people of, my generation would know, but people of a younger generation should not listen to or, hear the titles of. Therefore, excuse me, they would look it up, then probably without their parents' permission, and then learn some language that they shouldn't. So I'm not gonna do that. Let's see. What else is there? Oh, well, I guess I should probably explain, I finally did find a light bulb. I actually, hold on. Oh, where'd it go? I thought, no, the light bulbs that, are used for my, ceiling fan light are actually, they come in like a case of twos. They come in, they come in a 2-pack. And, obviously I'm using one right now. Where did I put the other one, though? You know what? It's probably on my nightstand behind me. I'm too lazy to go get it, though. I don't want to go get it. So, yes, speaking of the lazy, I shouldn't really talk about like that anymore. I mean, I'm sure that school starts today for lots of people. For most people, some schools started yesterday. School started yesterday. Not some school, or maybe it was just faculty who went yesterday. I don't know, but for the most part, school starts this week. So, students who could potentially be watching this, as I said yesterday, study hard, get your 8 hours of sleep, eat right if you're, into making that sure you're going to do well. If you're playing sports, it really applies to the whole eat well part. Make good choices. I don't really need to tell you that. Although, some people are wondering, what constitutes a good choice? Well, really good choice is whatever, you feel is, right and makes you feel, good about it. Here's an example of a good choice, at least for me back in the day. Back when I played football for Horseheads, when you start out, you have, 2-a-days and, double sessions. So, I figured, okay, well, I'm hungry. I shouldn't really have a lot, but I know I'm going to need something relatively nutritious that should give me, plenty of energy, consists of, protein, vegetables, stuff like that. So, in that regard, all I had was a simple BLT, hold the mayo. Yep, that was what I would do. Granted, it was like I was a senior when I figured that out, but, better late than never. And I really do feel it helped. And yeah, we didn't really have practice until 3, 4, 5 o'clock at night, so that lunch would have fully been digested, but still worked, and I still felt pretty good. And come on, it's a BLT. What could be simpler and a better satisfying sandwich than I guess there really are simpler and possibly better sandwiches, but I think we can all agree BLTs are pretty cool. They're pretty solid, unless, you follow kosher and you can't have, bacon or something. Or, for whatever reason, you're not able to have, you're vegan, so you couldn't have a BLT anyway. Although it does remind me, one of the groups of people I watch online is Brain Scratch Commentaries. And I posted this on Facebook. They're playing through Twilight Princess. And at the end of one of the videos, they're talking about whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich, right? A sandwich. Sorry, in honor of my friend whose last name is the same name as an object in the sky, I am going to pronounce it sandwich because he taught me to say it that way. So, what constitutes so if a hot dog is in fact a sandwich, and one of the guys, he goes by X and Shadow on his YouTube account. He said, lawful, a BLT is a sandwich. Neutral, a hot dog is a sandwich. Chaotic, a Pop-Tart is a sandwich. Oh, that got me going like crazy. Brain Scratch Commentaries are awesome. I'll put a link to their channel in the description. But, you should really check them out. If you're into gaming at all, and you like commentaries, I really do think, you should give these guys a watch. Because they really are loads of fun. Although, one of the funniest things I ever heard was, it was Mother's Day of 2016, I believe. Yeah, that's how I've been watching him at the very least. Actually, I've watched him for longer, but it was Mother's Day of like 2015, 2016, and they're they're talking about they're playing Ocarina of Time, another Legend of Zelda game, and they're talking about how Link has, several different colored tunics, red, green, blue, and actually that's all he has. And for whatever reason, they're talking about color blindness. And then it gets into talking about, traffic lights. And then it's like, if someone's colorblind, how do you know how does a colorblind person know what color light is? And they're like, well, I think as long as you know that the order is, red, yellow, and green, you should be good. And then they're like, what if it's a sideways stoplight? And then like, God help us all. Oh, that one got me going, like, laughing like crazy. Again, I'll put a link in the description below, so seriously, check out Brain Scratch Commentaries. These guys are awesome. I love these guys, and I'm going to continue to watch them until probably forever. And that is the sound of my laundry being done. I better get going. Like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, follow me on the social media platforms, turn on those notifications on YouTube. I am very humbled. I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I hope we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful hump day. And remember, for you guys that want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. And I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices. Before I go, I'm just going to look up something. Usually they have a, okay. I'm looking up to see if there's anything Hot Ones related tomorrow. And is there anything at all? Normally they do something. Huh. I guess not. Oh well. Well, should be cool anyway. Take care.